Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Club Pro Chatter, Season 4, Episode 3. My name is Greg Snow, coming to you live with Scotty McDonald, who had a whirlwind of a day, which we're going to get into in the podcast. We also have special guest Derek Holmes with us. And Derek, we got a little preview yesterday from JD, but welcome to the show. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Scotty, I guess we always start off with apologies, and I don't know how you want to wrap your day into apologies, but I'm going to let you start.
Well, let's apologize to the podcast listeners because somehow there's always some weird ruling with me involved that comes onto this podcast. If you recall, the golf champions a couple of years ago on my birthday, I opened the trunk and there were no golf clubs in the trunk. So I had to run in, and Marty Last set me up with a set of Callaway clubs. If Derek was at PXG at that point, I just would have used PXG, but he wasn't there yet. So anyways, today, start on 10 at the Legends, downhill par 4, hit a good drive, hit it back pin just off the green, almost chip it in, make par. 11, the par 5s, back into the wind. I'm just left of that bunker. Pin's way back. No chance of going for it in 2. So I pull up my 3 hybrid, and I see my 4 hybrid in there. I go, oh, I'm glad I put that back in. I hope I took the 4 iron out that I had in the bag from yesterday at Olympic Hills. Nope, I did not. So I look at my caddy, I go, 15 clubs, take this 4 iron, give it to that guy over in the card. I don't want to see it again. So in my mind, I think it's 1 shot per hole. So I'm thinking, it's 2 shots. I just got to get it back. I lay it up to 132, back pin, 8 iron, ship it up there, 10 feet short, rolls in for eagle. So all of a sudden I got 2 back, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm even. Well, we have the stupid scorecard on the phone. I look up the rule, max of 4 shots, 2 per hole. And I could have kept.
You should have kept it in the bag.
I should have played with 15.
That's right.
The only good thing I could say is I didn't know how to do it. We waited to update the scoring, so the guy with the camera kept following me around. So I got some free media out of the deal. They thought I was better than I was. So I end up whatever. And then just that's my day. So apologies that I led everybody to get. I was trying to do my best Derek Holmes impersonation to get through the US Open local. And I apologize that I led you on this ride and it wasn't even real. Sorry.
Derek, you get first question. Go ahead.
Who put the hybrid back in the bag?
See, I was on the range yesterday at Olympic and I had both of them in the bag then. And I'm like, I got to get one of these out of here. So I ran to the car and I put the 4 hybrid back. It was windy yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to have to hit low shots. Let's get the 4 iron in. So I don't know why I put it back in the bag in the trunk. It should have just laid there, but the idiot was me.
So there's no chance your caddy put that in? He didn't have dibs into your trunk?
No. Mark, my track coach, one of my good friends, he's a caddy, but I don't put that on him at all. He said after me, he goes, "Oh, I didn't even think that I needed to count your clubs. I figured you'd done this enough times before." And I'm like, yeah, apparently I haven't. So I'm sorry. That's all I can say.
Well, Scotty, I want to applaud your honesty. I have a feeling that there's many people out there that would have tried to just plod along and not said a word. And I think that that's commendable. And I really, I hold you in even higher regards to that. I can honestly say, as far as I know, I've never had 15 clubs in my bag, which tells you that maybe I have at one time and I didn't call myself out on it, but I don't think I did. Derek, have you ever done that in any tournament?
I've had 15, but typically in a bigger event, I count them before. And I have pulled them out before, like Scotty did yesterday on the range, going, Oh boy, got an extra one in here. So I've been close. Haven't done it, but I've been close.
Yeah, I don't have a mitt full of clubs in my trunk either. I'm not Adam Haugen or any of these guys that has 9 putters or something stupid like that. I did always worry about it back when they counted what are they called? Like a training tool back when that was supposedly a club. I don't know if it was just a few years of that. So I did worry about it then, but I've never been a guy to count my clubs ever because I think I played with less before where my kids took out my wedges. You guys ever done that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I played with less, and you can have that training aid in the bag because the ripstick's always in my bag. So I'm like,
now you can.
Yeah, you just can't take it out and swing it.
I will say, yesterday I got onto the first hole and I went, oh, I wonder where my rangefinder is. That's still in the travel bag. So
Really?
I have done that.
Oh, that's good stuff. Well, I don't have any apologies. I thought I nailed the show last week. So I don't, or last a few weeks ago. So I just wanted to hear that story, Scotty. That's awesome. Good stuff. So let's bring Kaylee Ekstrom in. She's feeling a lot better. She was sick. What was this, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Kaylee,
something like that.
He was under the weather, and we got news that you picked up the 19, right?
Yeah, wasn't very fun. I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was laid up for 7 days, Scotty. Did you get the 19?
But no,
Me?
Scotty, did you ever pick up?
No, I haven't put on
19?
19 pounds. No. And I haven't gotten the COVID-19 either. So I'm good.
You're good.
We've only had about 15 close contact quarantines in my house, but when you've got 4 kids, it's kind of easy to see that happen.
Oh yeah, you lived through the nightmare. And then I found out that Holmes is still COVID free. So me and Kaylee, we have a bond. All right, Kaylee, bring us state of the section.
Well, we kicked off our 2021 season yesterday with the Luther Pro Series #1. And all 3 of you were there and playing, and how'd it go?
I found it extremely difficult. I started on 10 and went double. Jack wasn't much better. He went bogey. Home Slice, your team was terrible. What happened to you?
We hit it a lot. I will say that. It was an ugly day for the Home Smith squad.
Although
Yeah, you guys
saw, go ahead, G.
Oh, you guys had 1 birdie, Derek? Is that what I saw?
Yes. Unfortunately, in a best ball, that when you're supposed to make about 10 birdies, we had 1.
Yeah. And Scotty, you guys were plugging along, it looked like. You played okay.
Yeah, we had some issues. We played with Roland and Snyder. They only had 1 birdie between them, which is really surprising. Although Derek must have rubbed off on Andy because Andy got it going pretty good today at Legends, kind of leaked a little bit coming in. I think, is he alternate?
I don't think he got through. I think he was one of the first ones eliminated.
Okay. But yesterday we had an interesting one, G and Derek, on the par 5 on the front. Is it 5? The one with the 6 water all along the left. I'm usually Mr. Reliable finding fairways. I smother it into the hazard.
Smothers Brothers
pulls out a PXG hybrid. Smothers Brothers into the lake left. So we both re-tee. Luke bombs one. I hit it in that bunker. Luke lays, both of us don't reach the green in 2. So we're staring at double. Luke holes out from 50 yards for par.
Oh, that's
wow. Great. Well, you guys had a star-studded lineup there. You had 4 of the top 10 of the decade players in that group. Correct? Is that right?
I don't think Benoit made it. I was giving him a hard time about that, but then he told me, well, I've only played 50 rounds of golf in the last 5 years. So
that's true.
You know, Derek is in the top 10. Where were you, G? What top?
I finished 86th. I actually asked how far I was down there, and I think it was 86. So if we had a top 100, I would have made it. And that's just longevity, Derek. That is just. So Kaylee, that's kind of our status. Yeah, it's a hard golf course. That's all I can say.
Definitely.
I will say that since I was the only good member at the meeting yesterday, I saw Kaylee there. It was actually nice to see the membership and to actually have a meeting and get to see everyone, because we see each other because we all play quite a bit, but the rest of there's members that you didn't see all of last year because they don't play in events. And so it was nice to see a lot of people. So I thought the meeting went really well. And I thought Tom, I've read both his books, was very good on the education side. So.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, speaking of numbers and just seeing golf skyrocket, this was my second point. We have had the highest picks of tournaments in the junior golf space like ever. And I'm only a rookie this year, so I'm still learning the ropes of Minnesota PGA, but there has been a ton of juniors that want to be involved in golf this year.
Yeah, the numbers are unbelievable, and it's still kind of early. There's still time for them to the 10,000 in the lottery, which I think the old record was what, like 8,000 or 9,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just unbelievable numbers. Were you ever in the junior tour? Derek, did you play in the junior tour stuff growing up?
Oh yeah, I made some guest appearances.
So I was never a junior tour guy. I was never a high school golfer. I only played college golf. I was one that skipped the, I would skip AAA and AA. I just went right to the big time. And it's reflective of my game right now.
Well, did they have the junior tour in the 40s?
That's a good point, Derek. Now, Derek, did you grow up on Rum River Golf Club?
I did, the one and only.
Yeah, so that's the course I grew up on as well. Way different eras.
Yeah.
Same conditioned golf course in the same eras, but that was my first run, and that's where I grew my teeth in the game, more or less. So there's what Derek and I have in common, Scotty, for junior golf. But let me back this up, Kaylee. So I'm seeing out here out in the West is that there's a lot of baseball kids who are now playing both. And coaches are becoming more lenient on this, especially in the smaller towns, yeah, we'll take you when we can get you. And the interest in golf, because of last summer, I firmly believe this, because of last summer, these kids are like, hey, this is kind of fun. I want to go play in these. Coach, will you let me play both? And we're seeing that we have about 8 kids in our conference that are doing that. So one week they'll have 3 on the team. The next week they'll have 6. And it just so happened that they had a baseball game or didn't. And I think it's kind of cool to see that this junior golf space, the game is doing very well. And It may not always be that way, but right now it feels like it is.
Yep, definitely. It's been super cool to see. And I mean, as I said before, just kind of seeing everything for the first time from my side. Like, I love how people are excited about golf. I love how people are talking about it. And personally, like, I can't wait to put on fantastic tournaments and people to come.
Okay. Yep. So Kaylee's phone, she died out, and that's okay. That'll be our state of the section. So we're going to move on here. She'll edit all that. It's no problem. That's the beauty of this, Derek. So let's just move on to our next deal, which is we're going to be interviewing Derek Holmes here. As many of you know, Derek was one of our 8. Is that right, Scotty? That qualified down at your old home track down at Summerby. We really thought that you would be one of those guys to make it, but you didn't. And but Derek was one. And he ended up traveling down there. Now, we've always talked down to Port St. Lucie. Now, we've talked, Scotty, a lot about this. So what a disadvantage it is for Minnesota Section pros. So I want to go back that far with you, Derek, and just hear from you as to what did you do in regards to preparation to try to get ready to go down and play in a tournament in April where you're not from Louisiana, you're not from Texas, you're not from California. What are some things that you tried to do to get ready to compete in this baby?
I'd be lying if I said I trained all winter. I mean, hit some balls at work here and there. I did go down with Andy to play in a winter series event down there, played the Ryder and Die course, which we played the Ryder one of the days, just to kind of get a little familiar with it. But it was just kind of a normal winter, just hit some balls here and there, and got down there a little early just so I could be outside and kind of get used to the Bermuda grass. But nothing over the top with practicing this winter.
Yeah, here's a question for you, Derek, and I think that I think we were all trying to read into this because every PGA members played those golf courses a ton. So, Jeff Sorensen, if I think if you would have asked any of us, we would have said, well, Jeff Sorensen's down there all the time. He's got to have an advantage. But how much did that help you, do you think? Because you played nationals there, right?
Yeah, I mean, great question. So in college, we played the Ryder and Die, but I hadn't played the Ryder since then. So it was kind of nice playing that winter series just to kind of get re-familiar with the golf course. But the Wanamaker with the Assistants Championship, played that four-ish times. So 16 rounds there, practice rounds. I mean, I played the Wanamaker 20 plus times. So it was really comfortable. And that was probably what helped me get through was I knew every shot, especially coming down that back nine, of exactly where to be and kind of what shot I needed to play.
So, gee, let me just, I mean,
You can follow up, Scotty. It's okay.
No, and I mean, this is your second one that you made it to, right?
Correct. Yeah. Played in New York.
The first time at Turning Stone, you lit it up the first round, which I've done both times I've been there. And then we don't need to talk about the second round, but how much,
probably.
Yeah, but how much do you think that helped you kind of, okay, I got my first ones out of the way. I'm now at a place that I'm familiar with. I know what I got to do. Just how much did that experience help as well?
Oh, it was huge. Even going back to Summerby, just playing 2 steady rounds at Summerby, kind of reassured that the game was there. And then, back to Turning Stone, being, I think, 8th or 9th after the first day. And then the old MC came out. It's just knowing that I have the game to compete with these guys. And it's just got to put it together for 4 days. And it worked for 4 days.
Derek, I've always admired the fact that you handle the game very casually, if I could call it that. You're very carefree and loose. And I remember the time you qualified at North Oaks when it was raining and you're like, I don't even feel like I deserve this. Remember that time when it was raining and you made it? Maybe that was the same time with Turning Stone. But so this might be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. What approach did you take when you went down early? Were you there to grind and try to get ready? Or were you there to say, hey, I want to hit some beach. I want to enjoy this. I don't want to focus too much on golf. Which way did you kind of go on that?
It was a little both. So the family ended up going down. We had to get COVID tested starting Wednesday if we wanted to play the Thursday practice round. So we went down Tuesday, got in after circling Orlando for like an hour because of thunderstorm. So that was fun with a 2-year-old on a plane after 3 hours to circle for another hour. But got down Tuesday, got it right up Wednesday morning, went down, tested, and then we just laid on the beach. And so hit some balls a little bit later in the afternoon, but it was a little bit of both. Let's kind of have a fun vacation for a few days, and then let's also, grind a little bit. So what did we end up playing? Played 18 holes Thursday, 9 holes Friday, Saturday. So I didn't play a ton. It was just kind of a little bit of getting the feel of the game.
You want
Go
me
ahead,
to jump
Scotty.
in? Gee, yeah. So, Derek, talk to me about, because you and I played together final round of the section championship at Woodhill. And then the next year we played together final round section championship at the Preserve. Both times you didn't get through. After as we're walking up the last hole at the Preserve, you were obviously very frustrated. I talked to you a little bit. What changed from then? Because that golfer that I played with that day had no chance of getting through the PPC because I could just see that you didn't really believe in yourself. And there was, if it started going bad, it could spiral out of control. So what changed?
honestly, just getting older and just understanding, if you have a bad hole, you have a bad putt, you have a bad chip, what are you going to do about it? You can't get that double back. You can't get the bogey back. You just got to move on. And part of growing up is just understanding that. And it's helped over the last year to two. Just, having the 2-year-old has helped. There's a lot more to life than golf. I mean, he could care less if I shoot 100 or if I shoot 65. He doesn't know the difference. So it's just enjoying being on the golf course, and it is what it is. We work in the golf industry. We don't play every day. So just coming to those expectations that I'm not going to hit the perfect shot every time.
Derek, let's talk about your rounds down there a little bit. Just recap for us kind of rounds 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll dive in a little deeper into round 4.
Round number 1 was interesting. Kind of was more of an up and down round. Kind of speaking to Scott, I was 2 over through 4 and just kind of said, hey, you got a lot of golf left. Just go play and don't shoot yourself out of it the first round. Go shoot 74. You're still right in it. It was windy. And I hadn't played a ton. So it was just kind of grinding out the 1 over 72 the first round. Got it to 1 under and then bogey 2 of my last 3, but that's golf. Round numbers 2 and 3 were a lot more consistent. I think I had 2 birdies and a bogey both rounds. Just hit a lot of greens. I think I hit 13 and 14 greens. Just slowly got the game underneath the feet and just made it simple. Didn't make a lot of mistakes, and kind of attribute that to knowing that golf course, the Wanamaker in round 2 and 3, of where to hit it and where not to hit it.
So how do you prioritize going into round 4 of I'm trying to win, but there's this other goal? And I mean, a lot of us have these, like when I play in the section championship, that top 25 or top 40 now to get in some other things is kind of a more important goal for me. So where did that land for you teeing it up on day 4, with knowing that you're a lot out of the lead because of Omar and our buddy. But also thinking, what happens if I shot 7 under? What would that look like?
Yeah. I mean, the wind wasn't I wanted to go as low as I could. I knew it was going to be windy. It was kind of like that first day where it was going to blow 20 pretty much the whole day. And it was go be aggressive, but don't be too aggressive, because you don't want to get in trouble by trying to catch someone that's 10 shots, I think, in front of me. So that the top 20 number was more in my head of just go play consistent golf.
How much, because I remember watching round 3 and they interviewed you afterwards. You were on the Golf Channel and you were inside the cut line going in. How'd you sleep that night before the final round?
Surprisingly, I actually slept pretty good. I just used it as, hey, this could be the only time. Hopefully it's not, but this could be the only time I'm in this situation. So just enjoy the moment, and it is what it is.
Okay, so Derek, I got to get ready for practice here. I'm in the clubhouse and I got this thing on TV, and I have a hard time leaving. I actually was late for practice, and people were kind of asking me, "What do you watch? What's this going on?" I go, "Well, these are our guys, right?" Well, I said some of them, some of these guys, because I was kind of making my shots at Omar. Anyways, So these guys are like, well, why is that a big deal to you? And I'm like, well, it opens up a spot for us. I said, if Holmes does well, I said, we get another spot. And I'm explaining to my members, and I'm living and dying all this stuff. These other guys that I didn't know any of these guys, I'm cheering for them to miss putts, Derek, in front of my members.
You're a terrible human being. You know that?
They go, Snow, that's not cool for golfers. I said, that's our guy, Holmes, right there. I said, that's who we're cheering for. And I'm one story, Derek. That's the joy. I mean, does that ever come into your mind of how many of my buddies and my cohorts and my peers are watching me? Did that enter your mind at all?
Honestly, when I was playing, no. But to hear the outcome after and the stories, just kind of what you said, is unbelievable. I would have never thought that many people would have been that vested into it. So it's really exciting to hear that I had that much support behind me all week, and especially that Wednesday.
So
I'll be honest, Derek, if that was Jeff, I would have done the same thing. But you just happened to be there, right? And you had played well. But it's so cool for us to kind of go, I play with that guy. You know, we get to see him at events and just so, and then I had to go look up the prize money. I'm like, oh, how much did Derek win? You know, that kind of stuff. Well,
how much did he win? G?
Was it 12,000?
Yeah, right about that. Yeah, just over.
Because the purse is down a little bit, Scotty. I went back and looked at some of them. The winner check used to be 70 and it was 60 this year. Did you see that?
Nah, well, it sounds like Derek's buying Fogo the next time we go to Fogo.
That's right. No, he's got a 2-year-old. He's got Bill Scott. You make plenty of money.
Kiowa took most of it for the house, though.
The good for you. Hey, get back to the round now, Scotty. Come on.
So, okay. So front nine, you make eagle on the front nine. You make a bogey and then you make eagle. Eagle on 7.
Correct.
So it's firm. That green is not very. It's pretty slender. So walk us through the eagle on 7.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a step back to 6. So you've played there, downhill par 3, dead downwinds. So that makes 7 downwind also. So actually hit a really good tee ball, but the wind just caught it and it sailed over the green. So made bogey, but I was down on myself because I could have made a couple birdies early. Not down, but like, okay. But great bounce back, absolutely hit a really good drive. And typically, to your point with that green, I rarely go for that green.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere to miss. I mean, they've cleared it up on the right side a little bit, but there's nowhere. If you miss left, you're dropping, you're making 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Pin was front right and just kind of hit a nice little high cut to about 20 feet just past the hole and made the putt. So it was a huge bounce back for me, just going from 1 over to 1 under.
Yeah.
Derek, doesn't that mean that hole 1, 2, and 3 were dead into the wind?
Yes, they were playing long. And as you saw, if you saw the scorecard, I think Oresti doubled 3, Alex Beach doubled 3. It was 1, 2, and 3 to get. I mean, I honestly could have got through there 2 under, but I was happy I got through even. So it was still a good. Getting there through even was great.
Just those of us who played it, what did you hit into number 2?
Punch 5-iron, and I hit 2 good shots.
Well, yeah, that's 455 or something, dead into the wind, elevated green.
Yep.
I always thought 3 was an easier hole than 2, but it didn't play like that on the stats. Was it a tough pin on 3?
It was right over the bunker. And actually, I pulled my second shot to about 8 feet left of it, which I don't know how. There wasn't 8 feet of green in between the pin and the bunker, but somehow I found the green there. I hit it and I went, oh boy, please cover, please cover, please cover. And, lipped it out, but still was happy to get through those 3 holes with even par.
So,
go ahead, Scotty.
So you par 8, 9, and 10. Then we get to 11, and I didn't get through all of 10,000 swings, Brad Cole and David Brandsted's podcast that Derek was on. But I remember calling Brad because I was on the road. I couldn't watch. And I called Brad and I go, what's going on with Derek? I don't know. He just had a 4-putt. And I blamed my dad because he jinxed him and said Derek hasn't had a 3-putt all week. And I go, well, technically he still doesn't have a 3-putt all week. So obviously 11, but then gathering yourself after that. Again, adversity.
Tell us about the 4-putt. Come on.
So again, if you've played there, a long skinny green, but it's got like a false back in the middle of it. So pin was to the right, kind of over that mound. It was back in the back right quadrant. And I, of course, into the wind and off the right, was hitting it to the center of the green. Wind got it. So I ended up being on the left side of the gully or the false back. So I had to put it down, up, and I got it to the top of the hill. So now I got about 7 feet dead down the hill. Hit it. I don't even want to say I hit it too firm. It just didn't stop, and then, missed a 3-footer coming back. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so you par 12. Did you birdie 13, the par 5?
I did not. Good thing the camera wasn't on me because I laid the sod over the second shot trying to lay up. But
So
got through with a
par 14, and then they moved the tees way up on 15.
Yep.
So that's your first big decision to make, right? At this point?
Yep. Yeah. For the day. And even going back to 14, I mean, that hole's 450 and it plays 4. I mean, it plays all of it. And making 4 there all 3 days was huge. That's just such a big hole that you get through there even, which a double is lurking anywhere off that tee or second shot. But yes, 15, it's 270 all carry to the front, 248 or something like that to the front edge downwind. But the greens were firm. And they actually had it there in round 3 also, but the front pin. And I just said, you know what, 7-iron off the tee over the bunker, hit it to 90 yards. It's a wedge, just hit a good wedge. Second, in the 4th round, it was a little bit more of a decision because that pin was in the back left. So I was like, okay, if I can carry the 3-iron, land it on the green, you can probably keep it on the green in the back shelf, but did the smart thing at the time, hit 7-iron. And then what I have, about 85 yards, I think, to the pin. And I hit it about 3/4 of the way up the hill. So then it comes all the way back to the front part of the green. And because I've had that same shot from the fairway downwind where I airmailed that green. And there's water, it's such a tough up and down that I overcompensated and just, hit it short. And then unfortunately 3-putted that to get to 1 over.
So now,
go ahead, Scotty.
So now at this point, do you know, are you watching and knowing where you're at, or are you just not looking at all?
Unfortunately, I pretty much knew where I was at because on 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, their scoreboards, and they had, at the time on 14 and 15, they had a 10 for 8 playoff at even. So I knew, walking off that, I knew I was outside of it, at least looking at the scoreboard. But I also knew 16 was basically playing at a downwind, crosswind. So I knew I could get it back pretty quickly. And I knew it was moving constantly too. So I didn't hold too much stock into the scoreboard.
So 16 was playing crazy short, right, Derek? I mean, they showed that a lot on TV. So talk us through that hole a little bit.
Yeah. So down cross, but front left pin. And, hit a great, actually my best drive of the week. Round 1, I hit it way right into the trees, round 2. And then round 3, I actually hit in the water. So I had a little pressure off the tee shot because I had not hit that fairway. And just kind of took a breath, hit it right down the middle. Got a little unlucky, as everyone knows. It's a split fairway. And my ball stayed in between the 2 fairways, kind of on that downhill side hill lie. And with it being firm, I knew I had to land it short because you didn't want to get too far past that pin. And I landed it just a hair too far short where it stayed short. I think I was like 10 yards short of the green, which was fine. Chipped it up to about, 2.5, 3 feet. And that putt was big to make, obviously, for the birdie, but it was a left to right or about a half a cup to a cup outside the hole. And as everyone knows, those left to righters for a righty are not a fun putt.
I hate them.
So you get it back to even. 17, not an easy hole. It's a long par 3. What was 17 playing?
I want to say like 218, right in that ballpark.
Okay. And firm, and you're hitting a lower lofted club in there, so it's bouncing. It's tough to get it close. I watched everybody. Nobody was getting it close.
Yeah, it was between 5 and 6 iron. Typically, it'd be a 5-iron with the way the wind was all day. But to your point, with it being firm, and if you carried it too far into that green, you would be over big time. So I hit the 6-iron, and I don't know where it landed because I only ended up about 8 feet, maybe 10 feet onto the green. So I don't know if I landed short because it was kind of into the sun, and it just kind of jumped up, or if it landed on and just laid soft. I'd have to bet it landed short because with everything going, I would have thought it would have been farther up into the green.
Yeah.
So we got to hear your interview with JD a little bit about the 18th hole. So give us the version because we have a little different audience than JD. So give us that what was going on in your mind and how you played that hole and what happened on your first 70-foot putt.
Yeah. So 17 was good 2-putt, actually making that 5-footer on 17, and then seeing on the scoreboard, they switched it there to a 4-for-3 playoff at +1. So driving the cart / walking to 18, I knew I was inside the number at the time. 18 down and crosswind. So the water was definitely in play if you pushed it a little. And I went kind of back and forth. I knew where the pin was. I had driver and I had 3-iron. 3-wood was not coming out because that's the club that tends to dribble off the tee once in a while. So 3-wood was definitely out of the equation. So it was either just going to be a hard 3-iron and just let it run, or just aim at the bunker up the left and try and hit a little cut into the wind. And worst case, hit it over the bunker. You're in the trees. It's fine. So I went with the big club just because I was like, to that pin, I want to have wedge or less in. I don't want 7-iron into that back pin or over that water. I just didn't want to mess with it. And absolutely hit a great little bullet cut down the left, and it cut inside the bunker and at about 130 yards in.
So 130, and I don't get to watch any of this. I'm listening through Brad Cole's description to me on the phone, which, as we all know, could be very, very entertaining. And I'm just like, tell me where he is. And I was getting mad. And afterwards, I was mad because you're right in the mix the whole time. They showed maybe 3 or 4 of your shots.
That's another discussion for another time. I vented this, Derek, to Scotty earlier in the week. But answer the question. I'm mad about this.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't know because, I mean, the camera, it was interesting to hear that I wasn't on the camera much because they were there the whole time. So I don't know if I just hit too quickly and they don't, go to me or what. But so and I heard everyone was like, they showed my first guy, I hit second, and then they showed the last guy. So it was kind of funny that I wasn't on TV for the drive. But, standing at that 130, that back right pin kind of down and almost more of a crosswind at this time. And it was either a pitching wedge or a gap wedge. And I figured I had some adrenaline, so I didn't really want to hit the pitching wedge and go long into the grass or into that gully left. So hit the gap wedge, missed it maybe a hair, towed it. But it gets on the green, flies bunker about 70 feet. I wanted, obviously, to get it 20 feet closer up into the middle part of the green, not so much the front. And then so getting from the cart to the green, big scoreboard across the pond that says, still, at that time, I think it switched to 5-for-4 playoff. So now I know someone else either jumped up or dropped down. I think someone dropped down then. So at worst case, I know, and I didn't tell myself this, but in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm plenty in even no matter what happens on this green. Because, you don't want to be thinking 3-putt still gets into a playoff. So I'm over it. I know it's slow. I know it's into the grain. And I'll say putting that day was a little bit of a issue just because I had 30-footers all day and I judged them okay, but I wasn't aggressive. So I was used to the long putts, but wasn't rolling them great. So get over it and just didn't hit it. And as soon as it hit the hill going up the shelf, it made a right-hand turn. And I went, oh boy. And it just kept going farther and farther. And I'm just, into my head, I'm just like, just please somehow stop. And then it just takes even more of a right hand and starts rolling backwards. And I'm just like, oh boy.
Please don't show that on TV.
Oh yeah. And I'm just, and I was laughing to myself, like, you could have done anything but what you could have hit it 20 feet left of the hole and got it up on the shelf. I hit the worst possible miss other than chunking it and rolling it 6 feet was what I did. So then now I'm thinking, okay, now you know what the playoff is. Just roll it up there inside that 2-3 foot circle, make your putt, sign your card, let's go. We'll go to the playoff. It is what it is. It's 5-for-4, 4-for-3. You still got good odds. And got up there and somehow it went in, never would have thought making that 30-footer, but I don't remember what I did. The fist pump, don't remember getting the ball out of the hole. It was just kind of like, holy cow, that just happened. And the best part is talking to Brad after, he goes, oh, that was such a Minnesota thing you did. I go, what'd I do? He goes, oh, you're holy cow. I'm like, well, you're lucky I didn't say something else, because I don't remember even saying it. I mean, I can't believe I didn't say anything else.
Derek, when I know when I hit some putts, I feel about 5 or 6 feet out. I know they're going in. Did that enter your mind at what point? 10 feet, 6 feet, 2 feet?
I thought, kind of going back about a foot out, I thought it had a chance. It was kind of left center, so I wasn't sure if it was going to hang on. It probably would have went about 2-3 feet by. It wasn't moving too fast, but yeah, about a foot out, I went, oh, this might go in, and then it just held its line, and I just kind of, a lot of emotions came out. I mean, good emo. It was just like, okay, I survived that, and not knowing I was in, but seeing what the playoff was, I had a really good inclination I was in, but I also didn't want to get too high, because you never know what could happen. There were still a lot of guys behind me.
Right. Scotty,
So-
fire the last question at him.
So you get in when, because your wife's on a plane while this is going on. She can't even watch.
Yeah.
So when does it all like hit you?
I don't think it, I mean, it truly hasn't hit me yet. But I think we had the score guy goes, okay, it looks good, but we're going to wait a few groups just because you don't know what could happen. And the funny thing is, so I'm wandering around the scoreboard and just refreshing the score, and I got text coming in like, oh, you made it. And I didn't respond to any of them because I didn't want to get even the inclination I was in until I officially got the piece of paper. Well, then all of a sudden, he goes, yep, you're in, and hands me a piece of paper. He goes, you got to do all this, all these, interviews, photo shoots. So it was kind of interesting. You don't even have time to like celebrate because they whisk you off to these media obligations. But I would say when it started to hit in was probably when I got back to the house, and no one was there. Cause like you said, we originally booked our flights for Wednesday at 3:30 in the afternoon because I had so much confidence that I'd be playing on Wednesday. So, but it's, I'm sure she had a million text messages from Brad when she got off the plane, but I just sent a message that I think it said like unbelievable or something like that. And it was fun that they were down there for most of it. It would have been great if they would have been there at the end. And the funny thing is, before we even left, my wife goes, well, I'm sure you'll probably make it, finish in the top 20 because we won't be there because you booked we booked that flight home. And I just laughed it off like, okay, yeah, these guys, to our point, have played the Wanamaker. They play down there all winter long. Like, probably not. I'll be happy if I make the first cut, and maybe I'll have her start doing that from now on, booking flights during the final round.
Get out of there soon.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, on behalf of Club Pro Chatter, we want to congratulate you. And it's a short turnaround. You got to get out to Kiowa Island here shortly, and I'm sure you're excited about that. You going down for a practice round?
Yeah, I'm gonna play probably more than one. Like I, did kind of in Florida. We're gonna enjoy this quite a bit out there.
Well, we do know that the PGA Tour has made it a point to show everybody one time, at least, during the PGA Championship. So
Perfect.
we hope to see you more than that and go make. I know the first goal of any PGA Pro in those is to make the cut.
Yep.
That's always the goal, it seems like. So we're going to be cheering hard for you, buddy. And congratulations, and we're proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats, Derek. Yeah, it's awesome, and yeah, just soak it up. I think, yeah, you're going to be, obviously you're younger than Greg and I. You'll hopefully, now this will shoot you up and hopefully contend for some Player of the Year titles. You got a big lead in the Player of the Year race,
Yeah, I'm thinking we should just cancel the Player of the Year from now on and just let's crown a winner right now.
Yeah,
just play well the rest of the year, Derek. And if you make the cut, your points are going to even go skyrocketing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to enjoy it, and we're going to have a fun summer. And like we talked about earlier, the best part is we get 9 guys at Austin next year. So I'm hoping to see both of you guys down there.
Oh, that's right. Let's go.
I know the
Shot
course
80.
is,
I shot 81 yesterday, Scotty. What'd you fire?
I think it was like 76.
There you go. All right.
It was not easy.
No, it wasn't. All right. That's
Is
Derek
Polito
Holmes.
alive? Is Tone Polito alive?
Tone, are you with us?
Yeah, he was mean yesterday.
I'm
He
here.
was look at
Tone,
him.
you were mean yesterday. What was with, hey, let's just get that out right now.
Oh boy,
Derek.
here we go.
What was that pin on 10? What was that about?
Well, let's just say that it played a little harder, but I don't know. Let's just go with that. I mean, those greens are out there are really tough out there, and the wind definitely. I think it got harder. I mean, I would say the one on 16. I was kind of watching a lot of players there, and basically you hit anywhere near half the green, you would just zoom off. So
Derek, what did you think was the hardest pin yesterday?
Oh, it was 10 by far. I hit 9-iron and couldn't even keep it on the green.
Scotty?
I thought, yeah, I think both those 10 and 16, but also the other one was 15 up the hill, the pins up front. And you think 11 was, yeah.
I was going to say 3 was good too. Oh, yeah, 3.
Oh,
you can name all the
three,
holes.
yeah, dead into the wind, back right, up on the shelf. Oh, let's make it 470.
So here's the story. So I was with Kaylee yesterday, kind of zooming around, and I don't like to bring this hole up, but I know Scott, you were playing in that tournament last year at Golden Valley. I forgot what hole it was.
Derek
16.
remembers golf champions. Remember number?
Oh yeah, I think
16?
Derek parred at the first round.
Yeah, I'm
You
pretty
and
sure I had a nice little 2-putt that I cozied up from like 7 feet just so I could have a tap in.
Wasn't you and I playing together? It was us and
Mr. Clayton Rask.
yes, Clayton had like a 5. No, it wasn't a 5-putt because he putted it off the green, I think,
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Those still
They had it
count
up
as
to
putts.
Yeah, he had it up to the hole and it rolled back.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
I say as long as it's not as bad as that, then I think we're good.
fun.
Tone, it was a good deal. It was a team event, and I thought Tone was tired of seeing so much under par. And let's toughen this up a bit. And you know what? It didn't matter. It was a fun day.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta give a lot of credit too to Olympic. Obviously, they wanted that course to play tough as well. How they helped prepare it. So it was a good day, especially with how the wind turned out and everything. So
All right, we only got a minute or two left. We've gone long, so let's just hit our rules. Our knowing the rules. Brought to you by Green Image Golfscapes. I got to spend some time with Denny yesterday. You guys will see this on the old Instagram at some point. But we had something come up in the Masters, Tone, that we wanted to talk about. And it seemed a little bit ridiculous at the time. But poor your boy, who you picked,
I picked them.
Abraham did a little something he shouldn't have done. So talk us through that rule of brushing sand and that kind of stuff. And what did he really get penalized for there?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, touching the sand in front and behind the ball in the bunker, you're not supposed to touch the sand. You would get the general penalty, which he obviously did. But in this situation, it was a little different because it was discovered after the fact with video evidence. So kind of my first thought of it was like, could he possibly have felt, because how small the sand was when he took it. It was like a little, I don't know, little speck of it. Not a speck, but a little mound there. And so my thought was like, well, they couldn't have ruled it that he would have felt that. And he obviously said he didn't feel it. So when you're looking at video evidence, they use kind of the naked eye standard in the rules. And basically, if they deem it that it could have been seen by the naked eye, then, the rule will stand. Even if like the video, it basically determines is the video going to be discarded or not. So I pulled up a quote here from the chairman of competitions, and they basically deemed that touching the sand in that circumstance was visible to the naked eye. So had that not been the case, the video evidence would have been discarded and the penalty would not have been applied. So do you agree with that or not? I don't know. I mean, obviously for our events, it's different because we don't have that, but I would say that I don't think he would have seen that, or it would have been visible by the naked eye making that backswing. So it was definitely something interesting you know, in my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, this is why, I mean, I keep up to date on the rules as much as I can, but if there's a rules official, I defer always. And we had something come up today, Tone, in my group at the US Open qualifier, that there was an embedded ball in a hazard. Derek G, do you know the ruling?
Yeah, we had it yesterday.
What is it?
Marshall Hoynes, you're in a hazard.
I think, but yeah, you're in the penalty area, but I know, I don't think you can identify it. I think you can hit it, and if it's not yours, then you can go replay it, or is that the old version? I can't remember. I know there was one point you can look at it, but now I don't know if you can.
You can look at it if it's embedded in a penalty area, but if you want relief for the embedded ball itself, you have options basically to get out of the penalty area. So that's what they'll tell you.
So options that involve taking a penalty.
Correct. Yeah.
So the rules official told the player in my group that he got relief.
No.
Oh boy.
What?
No.
Yeah. Yes. So
No.
the player listened to the rules official.
Well, of course he did.
And because I wasn't sure, because embedded ball used to be through the green. Now it's everywhere except penalty areas, right?
Yeah, I mean, within the general area.
Yes, yes. So, anyways, the official gave him relief in the hazard. He played it without a penalty, made 4, eagled the last, and got in.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
What?
Yep.
Oh.
So, and he didn't know.
Right.
And
It's not his fault.
I frankly didn't know either. So you defer to the rules official. So we came in, and imagine Doug Hoffman's look on his face when I told him I had 15 clubs. And he's like, wait, you didn't shoot 72? And then I said, by the way, we've got another little thing we have to talk about. So, and Doug said, if a rules official advises you and you follow them and they are incorrect, there is no penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no directors or board where they get, where they have insurance to cover them. Their ruling is their ruling. That's the issue on that.
So you go.
Did you check his driver's license? Are they related?
I don't think there is any relation there, but it was honestly the wildest between me and my club finagling or all that, and then that incident. I think we even left Doug Hoffman scratching his head, which is very difficult to do.
Well, Scotty, that's why we're doing these with Tone, is because we always have stuff come up. I've said this before, and I officiate basketball, and every year we look at each other and we go, how did that happen? And what is the rule? And all of us, we look around and go, it's amazing. And the same thing happens in golf. We always have this crap, like Abraham Answer, brushing the sand. I mean, not even brushing. I mean, that would never happen. If Derek did that with you and I playing, and he says, guys, I might have brushed the sand, we'd have said, we saw nothing, we're good. Right?
Exactly.
That's how we didn't see Patrick Reed with the sand flying up all over the place. And so that's the part that just it's mind-boggling to me. But
I mean, I'm just surprised of how many times that probably does happen, like out on the tour every week, and this one had the perfect camera angle of it. And that was kind of unfortunate for that way, but.
Well, they don't show the guys who are in 120th place, and they also don't show guys from Minnesota in the PGA Championship. So we know that you can get away with more stuff if you're from Minnesota or if you're like 120th down on the list. So those are the things that you got to be, I guess.
Any other good rules questions for Tone?
Derek, you got any questions that happened to you?
I mean, it happened, but I got the rules guy because, to your point, like, yeah, if you got a guy there, call them in. Down in the second round on 16, when I hit it right, it's a penalty area, but it had blue caps on it. And I'm just like, my ball is perfectly in the pine straw, perfect shot at the green. I'm going, if this is like, I can't go in, I'm going to be absolutely livid because my ball is right there, perfect swing. But I didn't want to hit it and then find out I hit it in the no-go area or whatever,
No play zone
or whatever.
Environmental area, something. Yep.
Yep. So I call the rules guy over and he just goes, no, it's just so we don't have to paint. We put a blue cap on it. It just means the edge of the cart path is the penalty area line, which I never really knew because I don't think we do it that much up here. So it just A, saves on paint, and B, then they don't paint the cart path. So it's just a red stake with a blue cap meant the cart path is the edge of the penalty area line.
That's a new one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I would say I haven't encountered that. I've never seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we got to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. Tone, Kaylee, thank you for all you do. This was Club Pro Chatter Season 4, Episode 3. Scotty, thanks for being late again.
Hey,
and
Derek, good luck at the PGA Championship.
Derek, thank
you
you so much for coming on and good luck. And Scotty, I'm sorry to roast you. I'll let you say something then.
No, I'm good. It's sorry I was late. I was a little frazzled today.
Yes, that's right. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.